Did you know that some of Canada's biggest cities are reaching a breaking point? Housing prices are skyrocketing, public services are overwhelmed, and job markets are more competitive than ever. But why? The answer might surprise you. While immigration has fueled economic growth, it's also contributed to an overpopulation crisis in several key cities. The result? A lack of affordable housing, strained infrastructure, and rising tensions. Today, we're diving into 12 Canadian cities struggling under the weight of rapid growth, and trust me, you'll want to hear about number 1 on this list. Let's get into it. 12. Kelowna, British Columbia. Kelowna, once known for its relaxed lifestyle and scenic views, is now feeling the effects of population growth. A booming housing market has driven real estate prices to record highs, making it nearly impossible for locals to afford homes. With limited rental units available, students, young families, and low-income residents are being priced out. The rapid growth has also put immense pressure on public transportation, healthcare, and schools. Kelowna's infrastructure was never designed for such a surge in residents, leading to worsening traffic congestion and longer wait times for basic services. While immigration has brought skilled workers and economic opportunities, the pace of development hasn't kept up, causing growing frustration among long-time residents. London, Ontario. London, Ontario, was once considered an affordable alternative to Toronto, but those days are quickly disappearing. As more people move in, housing demand has outpaced supply, leading to bidding wars and record-breaking rent increases. Many Londoners are now forced to move further out into rural areas, increasing commute times and dependence on personal vehicles. Local hospitals are also overburdened, with some emergency rooms seeing wait times exceeding 12 hours. Public transit, once reliable, is now struggling to accommodate the city's growing population. Even job opportunities haven't kept up, leading many newcomers to take positions below their qualifications. Despite these challenges, London continues to attract more people due to its relatively lower cost of living, compared to Toronto, and expanding tech sector. However, unless housing and infrastructure development catches up, it risks becoming another overpriced, overcrowded city. 10. Surrey, British Columbia. Surrey has experienced one of the fastest growing populations in Canada, but this rapid expansion has led to serious challenges. The city is struggling to keep up with the demand for housing, transportation, and public services. A major issue is the lack of affordable housing. Home prices and rental rates have soared, leaving many families in unstable living conditions. Schools are also feeling the pressure. Some classrooms are so overcrowded that students have to learn in portable buildings due to a lack of space. Another growing concern is public safety. As the city expands, crime rates have fluctuated, leading to debates about policing and security measures. Surrey's public transit is also underdeveloped, making it difficult for residents to commute without a car. Despite these issues, Surrey remains a desirable destination due to its proximity to Vancouver and economic opportunities. However, If infrastructure improvements don't happen fast enough, the quality of life for many residents will continue to decline. 9. Hamilton, Ontario. Hamilton has undergone a massive population boom in recent years, partially due to people leaving Toronto's unaffordable housing market. However, this influx has caused rents to spike, with some areas seeing double-digit increases year after year. Gentrification is another problem. Longtime residents are being pushed out of their neighborhoods as developers buy up older properties and convert them into luxury condos. Meanwhile, the city's public transit is overwhelmed, leading to overcrowded buses and longer commutes for workers. Another concern is healthcare accessibility. Hospitals and clinics are struggling to accommodate the growing population, with specialist appointment wait times now stretching months. Despite these issues, Hamilton remains an attractive city due to its proximity to Toronto, lower property taxes, and job growth in tech and manufacturing. But unless infrastructure and housing policies improve, it risks following in Toronto's expensive footsteps. 8. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Halifax has long been a hidden gem on Canada's east coast, offering a lower cost of living and a relaxed lifestyle. But in the past few years, the city has seen a massive population surge, leading to skyrocketing rent prices and a severe housing shortage. What used to be an affordable city is now facing rental bidding wars, where tenants are offering hundreds of dollars above asking price just to secure a place to live. The influx of new residents has also put enormous pressure on healthcare services, with family doctors becoming almost impossible to find. Traffic congestion has worsened, and public transit struggles to keep up, with buses often overcrowded or running late. On top of that, as more people move in, local job opportunities aren't expanding at the same rate, leaving many underemployed or forced to move away. Halifax is still a beautiful city with incredible opportunities, but its rapid growth is outpacing infrastructure, making life increasingly difficult for long-term residents. If the housing crisis isn't addressed soon, Halifax could become another city where only the wealthy can afford to live. 7. Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnipeg has always been one of Canada's most affordable cities, but even here, rising demand is driving up housing costs and putting pressure on essential services. Immigration has contributed to economic growth, but also added strain to schools, hospitals, and public safety efforts. One of Winnipeg's biggest challenges is crime rates, which have been on the rise in recent years. The city has seen an increase in property crime, gang activity, and drug-related incidents. While many factors contribute to this issue, rapid population growth has stretched police resources thin. Public transit in Winnipeg is also struggling. Long wait times, overcrowded buses, and limited route coverage make it difficult for people without cars to navigate the city efficiently. Despite these challenges, Winnipeg remains a popular destination for newcomers due to its lower cost of living compared to major cities like Vancouver and Toronto. However, if crime, infrastructure, and housing issues aren't addressed, Winnipeg's reputation as an affordable and livable city could start to fade. 6. Ottawa, Ontario. As Canada's capital city, Ottawa has always been a hub for government jobs and international affairs. But lately, the city has been struggling with affordability and overpopulation. The housing market in Ottawa has seen explosive growth, with home prices and rent increasing faster than wages. As more people move in, competition for housing has intensified, making it harder for young professionals and families to afford a place to live. Public services are also under pressure. Healthcare wait times have become a major issue, and the city's public transit system, OC Transpo, is notorious for delays, breakdowns, and overcrowding. Even traffic congestion has worsened, with many commuters spending hours stuck on the road due to infrastructure that hasn't kept up with population growth. Ottawa remains a desirable city due to its strong economy and government job opportunities, but its quality of life is declining as essential services struggle to meet demand. Without better housing policies and transit improvements, Ottawa risks becoming just as unaffordable as Toronto. 5. Edmonton, Alberta. Edmonton, once known for its affordable real estate and strong job market, is now experiencing growing pains due to rapid population increases. Housing affordability is still better than in cities like Vancouver or Toronto, but the rental market is tightening as more people move in. Many new residents are struggling to find housing, leading to increased demand for shelters and low-income housing. Public services are also feeling the strain. Hospital wait times have surged, and schools are struggling to accommodate the growing number of students. Public transit remains underdeveloped, making car ownership almost a necessity in this sprawling city. Crime rates have also been a growing concern, with more reports of property crime and drug-related incidents. Many residents worry that without better law enforcement and social services, Edmonton's quality of life could decline further. Despite these issues, Edmonton still has strong job opportunities in tech and energy. However, if infrastructure and public services don't improve, the city may struggle to handle its growing population. 4. Calgary, Alberta. Calgary has long been a go-to city for new immigrants, thanks to its strong economy, high wages, and relatively low cost of living. But this rapid growth is taking a toll. Home prices and rent have been rising, with some neighborhoods becoming unaffordable for middle-class families. Public transit is also struggling. Many residents complain about long commute times and unreliable bus routes. Another major issue is climate-related disasters. Calgary has faced multiple floods and wildfires in recent years, causing billions of dollars in damages. As the city continues to expand, there's growing concern about whether infrastructure can handle future disasters. Despite these problems, Calgary remains one of Canada's strongest job markets, attracting newcomers with its oil, tech, and business opportunities. But if housing and public services don't keep pace with growth, Calgary could become another overcrowded, unaffordable city. 3. Montreal, Quebec. Montreal is one of Canada's most culturally rich and diverse cities, but it's also dealing with an affordability crisis. Rent control laws have kept some apartments affordable, but new developments are catering to wealthier residents, pushing lower-income people out of the city. The cost of groceries, transportation, and daily living has also skyrocketed, making life harder for locals. Public transit, once a major advantage of living in Montreal, is now facing service cuts, overcrowding, and delays. Meanwhile, healthcare wait times have increased, and many Montrealers struggle to find a family doctor. Montreal still offers a great quality of life, but unless housing affordability and infrastructure improve, it risks losing its reputation as an affordable alternative to Toronto. Two. Vancouver, British Columbia. Vancouver is one of the most expensive cities in the world, and the population boom has only made things worse. Home prices have become completely unreachable for the average resident, and rent continues to skyrocket. Many Vancouverites have been forced to move to the suburbs or even other provinces just to find affordable housing. The job market is also highly competitive, with many new graduates struggling to find employment that pays enough to cover the cost of living. Meanwhile, the city's public transit, hospitals, and schools are all stretched to their limits. Despite these issues, Vancouver remains a dream city for many, thanks to its stunning scenery and strong economy. But unless drastic action is taken to address housing and affordability, Vancouver will continue to be a city only for the wealthy. 1. Toronto, Ontario. Toronto is the epicenter of Canada's overpopulation and housing crisis. With rent prices reaching all-time highs and homes selling for millions, Toronto has become one of the most unaffordable cities in North America. Public transit is overcrowded, traffic congestion is unbearable, and hospitals are overwhelmed with long wait times. Meanwhile, gentrification is forcing long-time residents out of their communities, and many newcomers struggle to afford even the basics. Despite its issues, Toronto remains Canada's financial and cultural hub, attracting millions of people each year. But with worsening affordability, many are starting to look elsewhere for a better quality of life. Canada is facing a major challenge: how to balance growth and sustainability. While immigration is essential for economic prosperity, cities must expand housing, infrastructure, and services to keep up with demand. If not, Canada's biggest cities will continue to struggle under the weight of overpopulation. What do you think? Is your city on this list? Let us know in the comments.